Future self-hacking. Decisions that time travel your life. What if I told you that every decision you make today is either a gift or a burden to your future self? That right now, in this very moment, you have the power to literally time travel your life forward by 5, 10, even 20 years. Welcome back to Mental Wealth, where we turn your mind into your greatest asset. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into one of the most powerful psychological frameworks that high achievers use to accelerate their success: future self-hacking. Here's the brutal truth most people don't want to face. Every single day you're making hundreds of micro decisions: what to eat, how to spend your evening, whether to scroll social media or read that book, whether to hit snooze or get up early. And here's what's scary. Your brain is wired to prioritize immediate gratification over long-term rewards. Neuroscientists call this temporal discounting. Your brain literally values a reward today more than a bigger reward tomorrow. It's why we choose Netflix over the gym, fast food over meal prep, and procrastination over progress. We're biologically programmed to sabotage our future selves. But what if we could hack this system? What if we could make your future self feel as real and immediate as your present self? Core concept introduction. This is where future self-hacking comes in. It's a decision-making framework that uses advanced visualization, neuroscience, and behavior design to help you embody your future self today. Instead of making decisions as your current self, you make decisions as the person you want to become. The science behind this is fascinating. When researchers at Stanford put people through virtual reality experiences where they saw themselves aging, those participants immediately started making better financial decisions. When they could viscerally see their future selves, they started acting in that future self's best interest. The framework. Part 1. The future self audit. Let's get practical. Here's how you hack your future self in 3 powerful steps. Step 1 is the future self audit. Right now, I want you to imagine it's 5 years from today. You wake up in your ideal life. What does that version of you look like? How do they carry themselves? What habits do they have? What skills have they mastered? What relationships have they built? But here's the key. Don't just think about the outcomes. Think about their identity. Your future self who's financially free doesn't just have money, they think like an investor. Your future self who's in amazing shape doesn't just look good, they think like an athlete. Your future self who has incredible relationships doesn't just know people, they think like someone who adds value to every interaction. Write this down. Be specific. Your brain needs vivid details to make this future self feel real. The framework. Part 2. The decision filter. Step 2 is creating your decision filter. This is where the magic happens. For every decision you face, you're going to ask yourself, what would my future self do in this situation? But we're going deeper than that. You're going to ask, how would my future self think about this? What framework would they use? What would they prioritize? When you're deciding whether to stay up late watching videos or go to bed early, your future successful self prioritizes recovery and morning productivity. When you're choosing between cheap fast food and investing in quality nutrition, your future healthy self sees food as fuel for performance, not just pleasure. The neuroscience here is incredible. When you consistently ask this question, you're literally rewiring your brain, strengthening the neural pathways associated with long-term thinking and weakening the ones tied to instant gratification. The framework. Part 3. The time travel technique. Step 3 is the time travel technique. This is the most powerful part. Every morning before you start your day, you're going to spend 5 minutes embodying your future self. Close your eyes. Imagine you're that person 5 years from now, looking back at today. Feel their confidence, their clarity, their sense of purpose, and from that perspective, plan your day. What would they prioritize? What would they avoid? What opportunities would they seize that your current self might overlook? This isn't just visualization. This is identity shifting. You're literally borrowing the mindset and decision-making patterns of your future self and applying them today. Real-world applications and examples. Let me give you some real-world examples of how this looks in practice. Career decisions. Your future self, who's a recognized expert in their field, doesn't just do the minimum at work. They're constantly learning, building relationships, and creating value. So when you're deciding whether to take that online course or attend that networking event, you know what your future self would choose. Health decisions. Your future self, who feels amazing in their body, doesn't see exercise as punishment or healthy eating as deprivation. They see it as an investment in energy, confidence, and longevity. Every meal becomes a choice between feeding your current cravings or fueling your future success. Relationship decisions. Your future self, who has deep, meaningful connections, doesn't just wait for others to reach out. They're intentional about nurturing relationships, having difficult conversations, and showing up authentically. They invest in people before they need them. Financial decisions. Your future self, who's financially free, understands that every dollar is either working for them or against them. They don't just spend money, they allocate resources. They don't just save money, they invest in assets. The compound effect. Here's what's beautiful about this approach. It creates compound effects. When you start making decisions from your future self's perspective, you don't just change individual choices, you change your entire trajectory. Remember, success isn't about massive, dramatic changes. It's about tiny, consistent improvements that compound over time. Your future self understands this deeply. They know that the book you read today, the conversation you have tomorrow, the habit you start this week, these aren't just small actions, they're investments with massive long-term returns. For those ready to take this even further, try the future self board meeting technique. Imagine you have a board of advisors made up of different versions of your future self: the financial version, the health version, the relationship version, the spiritual version. When facing big decisions, consult with this board. What would each version advise? You can also use the future self letter technique. Write yourself a letter from your future self, thanking your present self for the decisions you're about to make. Then read it whenever you need motivation to stay on track. Common obstacles and solutions. Now, you might be thinking this sounds great, but how do I maintain this when life gets crazy? Here's the truth. Your future self expects obstacles. They've planned for them. They don't expect perfection. They expect persistence. When you mess up, and you will, don't abandon the framework. Ask yourself, how would my future self handle this setback? They'd learn from it, adjust their approach, and keep moving forward. They understand that progress isn't linear. The identity shift. The ultimate goal of future self-hacking isn't just better decisions. It's an identity shift. Over time, the gap between your current self and your future self starts to close. You begin to naturally think, act, and choose like the person you want to become. This is how you literally time travel your life. You're not waiting years to become that person. You're becoming them now, one decision at a time. Your future self is already real. They exist in the realm of possibility, waiting for you to make the choices that bring them into reality. Every morning you wake up, you get to decide, will today be a day that your future self thanks you for or regrets? The power to time travel your life isn't in some distant technology. It's in your decision-making ability right now. Your future self is counting on you. Don't let them down. If this framework resonated with you, and you're ready to start making decisions that your future self will thank you for, show some love by hitting that like button. It tells YouTube to share this life-changing content with more people who need it. And if you're serious about turning your mind into your greatest asset, subscribe to Mental Wealth and hit the notification bell. We're building a community of people who understand that wealth isn't just about money. It's about the richness of your thoughts, the quality of your decisions, and the intentionality of your actions. Your future self is waiting. Let's make them proud.